This is a great question we got on our Ask Me Anything, and I felt like it deserved its own video. If someone has an overweight cat, what advice would you give them on getting started to help their cat with weight loss? I'm wondering if you'll say, switch to a cat food with a higher protein content versus a carb content. I've heard the cheaper brands are more carb heavy, so a cat will eat more of it since it's still hungry. Step 1 would be to schedule a visit with your veterinarian. Sometimes cats have excess weight due to health conditions or things that are outside of our control. So it's really important that you, one, check in with your veterinary team to make sure that your pet is healthy, but also that it's safe for them to start a diet. We don't start a diet with any of the cats here until they have a full checkup and our vet is on board. Your vet team is a great resource. They can help guide you on things like nutrition, how many calories your cat needs, things to help you when they're being a little too hangry. Don't count your vet team out. They're a great asset. Step 2, how many calories does your cat need for healthy weight loss? So your vet team might have already given you the calories, but if they forgot or if they only gave you diet food, here's a great tool. I want you to hop on over to Google or the link in our bio, and you're going to type in Purina, M-E-R, calculator for cats. This calculator is fantastic and it's free. I hope Purina doesn't take it down. They even have one on their website for dogs. So this calculator takes into account your cat's activity level, their age, a bunch of different factors like their body condition score. They even give you a little chart if you need to understand their body condition score better. The calories that Purina has given us on this calculator is very, very close to what we got in our vet clinic. So I think it's pretty accurate. They also have some really great scientists on their team and are super passionate about animal health and wellness. So now that you got your cat's calories, I want you to go in your pantry or wherever you keep your cat's food and grab that bag or that can and try to find the calories on those items. So what you're going to see for cats is it's going to say kcal. So, 400 kcal a cup, 160 kcal a can. It really depends on the food that you're using. And honestly, this is the biggest thing that grinds my gears. Pet food bags and cans are not easy to read. They really need to change the labeling to make it so that it's kind of similar to us when we look at a food item and you see the nutrition label on the back. It's clear, it's visible, it's in black and white. We shouldn't need a degree in nutrition or science to be able to read these labels. And I think I'm pretty experienced with cats, and even I just want to chuck that bag across the room half the time. Okay, so after all that digging, you found how many calories are in your cat's food. Now I want you to take a big white sticky label, write the calories on it, and stick it right on top of that bag. You need a visual reminder of just how many calories you're giving your cat. Because honestly, when cats get overweight, if there's no health issue, there's no other reasons that are outside of our control, then sometimes the responsibility lies on us, right? Cats can only eat what we give them. I am just as guilty as giving 20 temptations instead of 10 temptations or 2 temptations. Cats are cute, cats are adorable, but they're also master manipulators, so you can't trust them. So now that you know your cat's caloric needs and it's right in your face, I want you to stick to that as hard as you can. These cats are going to break your willpower. They're going to scream and whine and drive you crazy. Don't give in. I challenge everybody who's listening to this, try it for 1 week. Just give it 1 week. Weigh them when you start and weigh them when the week ends. And you will see that for most people, this will work if you stick to it. Not the cat, if you stick to it. We all know how much dieting sucks for us, but then it probably sucks for our cats in the beginning. I see it a lot in the sanctuary cats. So here are some tips that you can use to kind of help you survive and them survive. So for you, maybe some earplugs because they're going to whine your ears right off. But for them, you want to keep their brains busy. You want them to feel distracted. So, use things like lick mats where you can, spread wet food in those mats. There's a lot of feeders out there, even mostly made for dogs, but there's some for cats too, that you can put their dry kibble in, and they have to work for their food. When they have to work for their food, their brains get tired. They feel fuller because the food takes longer to eat versus if you just put, their half a can of wet food in their bowl, there's 1 minute of being satisfied, and then they're going to be right on your butt again. So you want to make it busy for them. So all the cats here, we make them work for their food. Maybe you can spread kibble out in a line along the floor, or, you treats that roll across the floor. Anything that gets them moving, gets them thinking, and keeps them occupied. Okay, so you've told me to see a vet. You've told me what kind of portions my cat needs for weight loss or how do I find those portions. But you haven't talked about nutrition and what kind of food I need. That brings me to step 3. finding the right foods for weight loss. And I think you're going to be surprised at what I suggest. I want to start this by saying I am not a nutritionist. I am not a veterinarian. I am not a vet tech. I'm just a crazy cat lady who's worked in rescue for quite a while and have some experience with junkie cats. So this is going to be a long one. I suggest you buckle up. There's going to be some ranting, some raving, and some practical tips to help your cat with their nutrition. So in life, I kind of have principles like good, better, and best. There are good ways for your cat to lose weight, better ways for your cat to lose weight, and sometimes the best ways for your cat to lose weight. But to me, the best way your cat can lose weight is whatever you can stick to. So if that means that your cat is eating Friskies, nothing wrong with Friskies. It's nutritionally balanced, it's complete, it's found in every grocery store. Yes, it may be carb heavy, but if it's the only thing your cat's gonna eat, then feed them that in the proper portions. Oh my gosh, Christine, I'm coming with my pitchfork. This is not right. Cats can't eat carbs. Why are you saying this? Why are you telling people this? The reason I'm telling you this is because not everybody has the same access. Some people live in remote communities. They can only get what's sold at the local grocery store. Some people are on budgets and they can only afford certain brand foods or certain labels. Or maybe their cat will only eat dry food, and maybe you're somebody with a cat that will only eat wet food. The best plan for you and your cat, again, is what you can stick to. But if you want to dive a little bit deeper, yes, less carbs would probably be better. More protein would probably be better. The prescription weight loss food is great. We have some cats on that food. We have some cats that are only on wet food. And yes, some of the weight management foods are lower in calories, which means your cat can have more. It's kind of like you having salad versus fries. The fries probably taste better, but you can have a way bigger portion of salad for the same amount of calories. As long as what you're feeding your cat is in the proper portions, it's nutritionally complete and balanced, those are words you want to look for on the label, your cat should do fine. But if you want to take a more strategic and targeted approach, then yes, you can go buy that prescription cat food. It's a little bit expensive, but some of our cats do really great on that food. If you want a lower budget, affordable, great, low carb, higher protein cat food, Fancy Feast cans, like any of the Pâté cans, are great for that. And then some of the more pricier brands like Veruva, Tiki Cat, they all have great canned options that, have a lot of texture, a lot of smells. They have a lot of protein and quality ingredients. But just like in humans, honestly, I feel like it comes down to calories in and calories out. Yes, you want quality nutrition, but you also need to be able to work with the situation that you're in life-wise. So you're never going to hear me say, only do it this way, or only this will work for weight loss. You've seen all of the cats we've had at the sanctuary, and everybody's achieved success their very own way with different tools and different foods. We meet each cat where they are with what they like, and everybody is happier for it. And if you want to tune out now, it might be a good time because I'm going to rant. The pet food and pet nutrition space on the internet is so toxic. Honestly, this is probably my biggest pet peeve. I hate seeing ads like, oh, if you don't feed your cat this, like your cat is gonna suffer. Your cat's gonna have all these issues if you don't use our brand food, if you don't feed this certain way. Kibble is the devil. All of these cats are overweight because they only eat kibble. We even get a lot of hate like that in our comments. We actually had one pretty well-known pet food brand that we personally like come at us in the comments about that too. And honestly, it's just silly. You do what works best for your family situation, what you have access to, what you can afford, as long as it's nutritionally balanced and complete. Your pet's gonna be okay. So feed raw if you want, feed kibble, feed freaking drugstore brand. Do what works. As long as you love your pet and they've got a full belly, I'm happy with that.